Stop using AI like Google. 5 beginner mistakes that make AI less helpful. If you're brand new to AI, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence tools, or you are someone over 50 who wants to learn how to use AI without feeling overwhelmed, this video is for you. Today we are going to talk about AI for beginners, simple AI prompting, how to use ChatGPT, and the common mistakes people make when they first start using artificial intelligence. And let me say this right at the beginning. If you have tried AI before and thought, well, that wasn't very helpful, you're not alone. Maybe you typed in a question, got a boring answer, a confusing answer, or something that felt completely off, and you thought, see, this AI stuff is not for me. But here's the good news. Most of the time, the problem is not you. The problem is usually that nobody explained how to actually talk to AI in a way that gets useful answers. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 beginner mistakes that make AI less helpful, and more importantly, how to fix each one. And make sure you stick around until the end, because I am also going to share one bonus mistake that, once you understand it, can make using AI feel much easier, clearer, and more comfortable. So let's get into it. Mistake number 1. Treating AI like Google. The first mistake beginners make is probably the most common one. They use AI like it's Google. Now, that is completely understandable. For years, we have been trained to go online, type in a few words, and search for information. You might type something like best dinner recipes, Medicare explanation, vacation ideas, email template, and with Google, that makes sense because Google is mostly trying to find websites for you. But AI works differently. AI is not just a search box. AI is more like a conversation with a helpful assistant. Now, I do not mean it is perfect. I do not mean it is always right. And I definitely do not mean you should trust everything it says without checking. But the way you get better answers from AI is by giving it more context. Let me give you an example. A Google style prompt might be retirement. That is too broad. AI does not know what you want. Do you want retirement planning, retirement hobbies, retirement income, retirement party ideas, retirement quotes, retirement travel? So a better AI prompt would be explain 3 simple retirement income options for someone in their 60s using plain English and no financial jargon. That is much better. You told the AI what you want, who the information is for, and how you want it explained. Here's another example. Instead of typing dinner ideas, you could type, give me 3 easy dinner ideas using chicken, rice, and frozen vegetables. I want something healthy, affordable, and not too spicy. See the difference? You are not just searching, you are giving instructions, and that is one of the biggest mindset shifts when using AI. You are not trying to find the perfect magic words. You are simply explaining what you need, just like you would explain it to a helpful person. A simple formula you can remember is this. Help me with this task, here is my situation, here is how I want the answer. For example, help me write a birthday message. It is for my adult daughter. I want it to sound warm, sincere, and not too cheesy. That is the kind of prompt AI can actually work with. So mistake number 1 is treating AI like Google. The fix is simple. Talk to it more like an assistant. Mistake number 2, being too vague. The second mistake is being too vague. And let me be clear, this is not something to feel bad about. Most people are vague when they first start using AI because they do not know how much information they are supposed to give. They might type, write an email, help me with my bill, explain insurance, make a travel plan. Those prompts are not wrong, but they are too open-ended. AI needs a little direction. For example, if you type, write an email, the AI has no idea what kind of email you need. Is it friendly, formal, angry, professional, personal, short, long? Are you writing to a friend, a company, a doctor's office, your child's teacher, your internet provider? Now compare that to this. Write a polite email to my internet provider asking why my bill increased this month. Keep it firm but friendly. That is much better. Or instead of explain Medicare, you might say, explain the difference between original Medicare and Medicare Advantage in simple terms for someone who gets confused by insurance language. That gives AI a much clearer job. Here's another one. Instead of make a travel plan, try plan a relaxed 3-day trip to Rome for a couple in their 60s who enjoys history, good food, and not too much walking. That is a much stronger prompt, and notice something important. None of these prompts are technical. You do not need to know computer language. You do not need to know coding, and you do not need to sound fancy. You just need to give the AI a little more information. A good beginner prompt usually includes 3 things: the task, the situation, and the style. For example, help me write a message to my neighbor. Their dog has been barking late at night. I want the message to be polite and friendly because I do not want to start an argument. That is clear. The AI now knows what you need, what the situation is, and what tone you want. And here's something I want you to remember. The AI is not judging you. It is not sitting here thinking, wow, this person does not know what they are doing. It's just waiting for instructions. The more helpful your instructions are, the more helpful the answer will be. So mistake number 2 is being too vague. The fix is to add context. Mistake number 3, giving up after the first answer. This is a big one. Many beginners ask AI one question, get one answer, and then stop. If the answer is not useful, they think, well, that didn't work. But AI works best when you keep the conversation going. The first answer is not always the final answer. Sometimes the first answer is just a starting point. Let's say you ask AI, write me a message to my neighbor about their dog barking. The AI might give you something that sounds too formal, like it was written by a lawyer. You might read it and think, I would never say that. But instead of giving up, you can simply reply, make it softer and more neighborly. I do not want to start an argument. Think of it this way. If you asked a human assistant to help you write something and they gave you a first draft, you probably would not expect it to be perfect immediately. You might say, can you make it shorter? Can you make it friendlier? Can you make it sound more like me? AI is the same way. In fact, one of the best things you can do with AI is simply talk back to it. Let me give you a very practical example. You type, write a thank you note for my friend. AI gives you something generic. Then you type, make it more personal. My friend helped me after surgery, brought me groceries, and checked on me every day. Now the answer becomes much better. Why? Because you gave it more detail. The magic often happens in the second or third prompt. So if you get a bad answer, do not immediately assume AI is useless. Ask a follow-up. That is not failure. That is how the tool is meant to work. Mistake number 3 is giving up after the first answer. The fix is to keep the conversation going. Mistake number 4, trusting everything AI says. Mistake number 4 is a very important one. Some people make the mistake of trusting everything AI says. Other people go to the opposite extreme and trust nothing it says at all. The healthier approach is somewhere in the middle. Use AI as a helper, not as the final authority. AI can be extremely useful for explaining things, organizing your thoughts, helping you prepare questions, writing drafts, and simplifying complicated topics. But AI can also be wrong, and sometimes it can be wrong in a very confident-sounding way. So for important subjects, you need to double-check. This is especially true with anything involving health, legal issues, taxes, investments, government benefits, major purchases, safety instructions, or current news. For example, you should not ask AI, should I stop taking this medication? That is a doctor question. A better way to use AI would be, what questions should I ask my doctor about this medication? That is much safer and much more useful. Or instead of asking, what investment should I buy? You could ask, explain the difference between stocks, bonds, CDs, and savings accounts in plain English. That helps you understand the topic without treating AI like your financial advisor. Or instead of asking, can I sue my landlord? You could ask, help me make a list of questions to ask a lawyer about my landlord situation. That is a smart use of AI. You are using it to prepare. You are using it to understand. And you are using it to organize your thinking. But you are not handing over serious life decisions to a machine. And that distinction matters. I want this channel to be practical, but I also want it to be honest. AI is powerful, but it is not perfect. It is not a doctor. It is not a lawyer. It is not your accountant. But it can help you have better conversations with those people. It can help you understand confusing words. It can help you prepare questions. It can help you feel less lost before you walk into an appointment or make a phone call. So mistake number 4 is trusting everything AI says. The fix is to verify important information and use AI as a helper, not the final word. Mistake number 5, sharing too much personal information. Now, I do not want to scare you here. The point of this video is not to make AI feel dangerous. The point is to help you use it wisely. A good rule is this: treat AI like a helpful stranger. You can ask it questions, you can get help, you can share general details, but you should not hand over deeply private information unless you are absolutely sure what you are doing or what tool you are using. For beginners, I would keep it simple. Do not type in your social security number, bank account number, credit card number, passwords, login codes, verification codes, full medical records, full legal documents with your name, address, and private details, or anything that could expose your identity, finances, or private family matters. Now, that does not mean you cannot ask for help. You absolutely can. You just remove the private details first. And one very practical way to do that is by taking a small screenshot or screen snippet of only the section you want AI to look at. Let's say you are looking at a bill on your computer. Maybe the top of the bill has your name, address, account number, and payment information. You do not need to show AI all of that. Maybe all you really want help understanding is the itemized section where the charges are listed. In that case, you can capture only that small section of the screen and paste it into ChatGPT for analysis. On a Windows PC, you would press Shift plus the Windows key plus the letter S, then drag over only the safe part of the bill, for example, just the itemized charges. On a Mac, you would press Control plus Shift plus Command plus 4, then drag over only the section you want to capture. The reason I suggest using Control plus Shift plus Command plus 4 on a Mac is that it copies the selected screenshot directly to your clipboard, so you can paste it straight into ChatGPT without having to search for the saved image file. Then paste the snippet into ChatGPT and ask your question. For example, you could say, "Please analyze this section of my bill. Explain each charge in plain English, point out anything that looks unusual, and suggest questions I could ask customer service. If something is unclear, tell me what information is missing instead of guessing." That is a much safer way to use AI. You are getting help without exposing unnecessary private information, and this works for many everyday situations. You can use a snippet from a utility bill, a phone bill, an internet bill, a confusing fee, a product comparison chart, a letter from a company, a section of a form you do not understand. But the key is to capture only the part AI needs to see. Not your full name, not your address, not your account number, not your payment details, not private medical or legal information, just the section you want explained. For example, instead of uploading an entire bill, you could capture only the itemized charges and ask, "Can you explain what these charges mean in plain English?" Or, "Do any of these fees look like something I should ask customer service about?" Or, "Help me prepare 3 polite questions I can ask about this bill." That is where AI can be extremely useful. It can help you understand confusing wording, it can help you spot questions you may want to ask, it can help you prepare before calling customer service, but you are still being careful about your privacy. And again, you do not have to be paranoid. You just have to be thoughtful. Think before you paste. Remove or avoid names, numbers, addresses, account details, and anything deeply private. Mistake number 5 is sharing too much personal information. The fix? It's to keep private details private. And when possible, share only the specific section you actually need help with. Bonus mistake: asking huge questions all at once. Now here's the bonus mistake I promised at the beginning. One of the biggest reasons beginners get overwhelmed by AI is that they ask huge questions all at once. For example, "Help me start a business, create a website, make a marketing plan, design a logo, write emails, and tell me how to make money." That is a lot. AI will probably give you a long answer, and that answer might make you feel even more overwhelmed than when you started. The better approach is to break big tasks into smaller steps. Small prompts usually get clearer answers. Let's say you want to plan a trip to Italy. Instead of saying, "Plan my entire trip to Italy," you could start with, "Ask me 5 questions that would help you plan a relaxed trip to Italy." Then after you answer those questions, you can say, "Based on my answers, suggest 3 cities that would be a good fit." Then, create a simple 7-day itinerary with no more than 2 activities per day. Then, make the itinerary easier for someone who does not want to walk too much. That is a much better process. You are not asking AI to solve everything at once. You are using it step by step. That is also how I suggest you learn AI in general. Do not try to master everything in one day. Do not try to understand every tool, every update, every feature, every technical term. Start with one useful thing. Write an email, summarize an article, make a grocery list, plan a meal, understand a confusing letter, create questions for an appointment. That is enough. You're not trying to become a computer expert. You are learning how to ask for help in a new way. That is the real skill. Let's do a quick demonstration where we turn a bad prompt into a better one. Let me show you how simple this can be. So let's start with a weak prompt. "Help me write an email." Now again, that is not wrong. It's just way too vague. So let's improve it. "Help me write an email to my doctor's office asking to reschedule an appointment. That is better. But we can make it even stronger. Help me write a polite email to my doctor's office asking to reschedule my appointment from Tuesday to sometime later in the week. Keep it short and friendly. Now the AI has something useful to work with. And if the answer sounds too stiff, you can follow up with, make it warmer and less formal. That is prompting. It's not complicated. It's not magic. It's not something only young people or tech people can do. It is simply giving clear instructions and then adjusting the answer until it fits what you need. Once you understand that, AI becomes much less intimidating. If you are new to AI, I hope this video reassured you. You are not behind, you are not too old, you're not bad with technology, you are simply learning a new way to ask for help. And the truth is, once you get comfortable with AI, it can help with everyday tasks in very practical ways. It can help you write a difficult email. It can help explain confusing words. It can help you plan meals. It can help you prepare for appointments. It can help you organize your thoughts. It can even help you learn new things at your own pace. So here's a simple exercise for you. Open whatever AI tool you are using and type this. Give me 5 ways AI can help me in my everyday life. Ask me questions first so your suggestions fit me. That one prompt will show you how much better AI can be when it has a little more information about what you actually need. And if you want to learn AI slowly, clearly, and without all the confusing tech jargon, then subscribe and follow along, because that is exactly what we are going to do on this channel. We are going to make AI simple, useful, and a lot less scary. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.